It's an early one, guys. 5:30 this morning. Got the Corbin crew here, and we're getting ready to pour some concrete. Now, last night, or just before dark, Deb and I got in here with the Baumolite mini skid steer, and we leveled all this out so the guys will have a nice workspace here so they don't have to jump over mounds of dirt and stuff. They can get all their equipment in here, their power trowel and things like that. I got to talking and missed the mud coming down. Mud dog Paul here. When it comes down the chute, if he lifts that too high, it'll splatter concrete everywhere. So I think what they're going to try and do is push the bulk of it out there and then use their trowels or whatever these things are called to put it where they want it. But for the first time since retirement 4 months ago, I set an alarm. I set an alarm for 5 o'clock. The guys got on site just ahead of the truck. We saw the truck come in. Bella was barking away. She's not used to things coming up here in the dark. This was a surprise as far as timeliness. When I met with Otis, and this is his 4th pour on our property, when I met with him a week ago, he said it'd be a month before he could get here to form it up, and then he didn't know when he could pour it. So he formed it up yesterday. Deb and I got in here with the Baumolite mini skid steer last night before dark, and we got it smoothed out around the forms. And he called me later in the afternoon yesterday and said, we're not pouring tomorrow, which is Wednesday. He said, we're pouring today at 5:30, which is Tuesday, which is awesome. We're glad to get it done. It's all been kind of a surprise as far as the timing. We didn't think we were going to have this for a month or so. You see what Paul was doing there by pushing that concrete in, and what they're trying to prevent is honeycombing. And honeycombing is when the concrete comes against your form board and there's an air pocket. You just got to work those air pockets out, either manually or with a vibrating tool. These guys like to do it with these manual shovels or trowels. Otis, what's that tool called that you have? A come along? All right, we got Mud Dog here with a straight 2x4 so we can screed it off, get that initial screeding, get that somewhat flat, make sure they don't have any low spots or high spots in the concrete. You'll see how we have this all broke down into 6 sections. It's 20 foot wide by 30 foot long. And that metal is called keyway. And that keyway lets them pour a square at a time. And that way the concrete doesn't set up ahead of, them. Screed off each block of keyway and then move on to the next one. You see a hole right there. They got to put a little bit of mud there. Kick it, use their come along, whatever they have to do. Paul calls Otis O. So yesterday I started calling Otis OG. So we got OG over here doing the, what's this trowel called, Otis?
Bull float.
Bull float. And look at this, we got a little splatter. Got a little splatter on the white. I'm gonna have to dock your pay there, Mud Dog. So we've got a 3-inch slope from the garage to this end of the 30 feet. So water should tend to run this way. And then we've got a 1-inch slope from that side to this side. So all the water should run that way and also from the truck to me. So there'll be a lot of water runoff from here. Of course, you got the garage roof as well. So we're gonna have to do some water management because we already have a lot of water that went down here before. Otis, what kind of slump do you call this? So you asked for a 6 and they sent you a 7, and 7 means more water? Okay, so it's a little bit wetter than you thought it would be? And the reason you would want it a little drier so it sets up quicker? So it stays where you put it, the more dry it is. But it's easier to push when it's wetter, right?
Oh, yeah.
How old are you, Paul?
38.
38? so you've got 32 more years of this.
Yeah.
If you want to be like OG. We are half poured, and you know, when you think about the concrete truck showing up at 5:30, his job is done in like an hour. Concrete truck is gone in an hour. And then these guys gotta screed it off and then wait for it to settle or set up a little bit, and then they'll get the power trowel on there. So I asked the truck driver how much mud he brought, and I think he said 9 yards. So we got 9 yards of concrete, which is like $190 a yard, plus $6 a yard per fiber. Let's call it $200 a yard. So if my 530 math is right, we got $1,800 in just mud here. And we got a roll of wire, whatever that cost. I provided the plastic. I provided most of the wood for the wood forms. And the keyway there, I don't know how much that costs. It can't be too much. And then plus labor. So I don't even know what the labor is. So this slab is going to be a solid $3,000 is what I'm thinking. Maybe $3,500. I really don't know. Whatever Otis charges me, he charges me. He's fair. I get a good product, and I don't haggle with the price. It's very hard to get someone to do small pours like this, and the people that specialize in small pours want an arm and a leg. We're talking $10 to $12 a square foot. This is going to be somewhere between $6 and $8 a square foot. So he doesn't charge me anything extra for material. He just gives me the bill of the material from wherever he bought like the wire from. So I'm just happy that he's here. So Paul, how do I know that 2x4 is straight, man? Is it hand selected?
Yeah, we always keep an eye on them, make sure they stay straight.
It's got so much mud in it at this point, right?
Yeah.
You guys ever use like an aluminum screed board or something?
I've used them before. I like the wood ones.
Really?
Yeah.
That actually isn't bad.
Yeah, it's pretty straight.
All right, we're gonna wait for him to release the hounds.
And it's good to pour it on the rib side first.
Yeah, so it fills in against it?
Well, if you pour on this side first, it'll blow it off the stakes.
Gotcha. Oh, I see.
Yeah. Good to start on that male side.
Yeah. So Paul just said that when you pour, you want the concrete to come from away from the camera towards the camera, because the stakes holding up this metal here are on this side, and you want to pour towards the stakes the first time, and then it's safe to pour back the other way because the concrete supports it. We are on the last 2 bays already. So sometimes you'll see risers on the wire to keep the wire off of the bottom. But these guys, every time they've poured, they always take the edge of their come along, you saw them do it right there, and pick the wire up. And that brings the wire into the concrete. So what you don't want is you don't want the wire down against the vapor barrier, and then it'll sit there and rust and expand and possibly cause cracks. I just asked OG, is this a problem? He goes, not a problem for me. I was worried last night when we were grading this that maybe I needed to push some dirt against there because we didn't want the concrete to blow out, but it's just the water. The concrete's not coming out from under that board at all. We did throw some shovels of dirt along this edge here. Sun is just starting to peek above the trees. So he shuts it off up there. controls how much comes down the chute. And if he sends the right amount, then these guys have less that they'll have to pull out of the form and pile up on the side. So we thought we didn't really have that much concrete, so we're pouring it out here in case he needs to grab shovelfuls and hit any low spots in there. But I think that's probably a little bit more than the truck driver thought was in the truck. I told him if he had a decent amount, we go pour it around the culverts in the pond and just prevent washouts. And I think we had more than, or I think there's more in the truck than he thought there was, because that's a decent little amount. But Otis wants to make sure that he can shovel some of this back in there if he has low spots. There's still a lot of concrete coming in, and I confirmed with Otis it was 9 yards. And this is right off the end where I got to put gravel, so Otis is spreading it out a little bit here. So as it dries, I can always come in here with a tractor and break that up with the bucket. It's all fun and games until you have to pay that bill. That's just the price of the mud. But they're taking a little bit of this extra concrete and filling in some of the holes around the edges, troweling that down and making the edges look rounded. He's doing the edging here between the existing garage concrete and the new concrete. And then Otis is going along here and just kind of filling it in next to the form. You can see the water puddling up in it a little bit. And the extra concrete that's here, Otis spread that out. He said just put the gravel on top of it, but it's pretty thick there. So I'm going to take the Summit tractor and just kind of back blade that and make it thinner and kind of peanut butter spread it back further. And that'll just make my gravel driveway a little bit better, a little bit more stable, I guess. And I get to do some tractor work while I'm waiting for them to do some power chowing. I got them with some chairs set up in the garage with a fan blowing on them. Got a chair out here in the shade. I want these boys leaving this job for me to do because I can't do this. I got to keep them happy. Like peanut butter. This is actually kind of fun and it's working out pretty good, smoothing it out. And if I don't like it here, to put the gravel on top of it, because I've made it so thin, I can just chop it up with the bucket. Where it was 4 and 6 inches thick, it'd be harder to break into little pieces. But now it's probably no more than an inch thick. One thing I've learned when using equipment around concrete is you got to get that concrete off right away or else it'll be gray. Your equipment will be gray forever. The guys are monitoring the curing of the concrete because we want to make sure and get Bella's paw print in it. Anytime we pour concrete, we try to do that. We haven't been able to get a good paw print. They said they're going to hook us up today. We've been drying for a couple hours out here. They just ran the bull float over it again to kind of re-level the concrete, kind of fill in any low places. And we're just waiting for it to cure. It came in a little bit wetter than they were expecting or that they had asked for. That's called the slump. So we're just waiting for that, a little bit more curing, and then we'll get the power trowel on there. And then after the power trowel, we're going to do a light broom finish on it. And then it's just a matter of letting it cure. Bella wants to walk across that concrete and leave her own tracks and her own signature on it. But we took her paws and pressed them in there. We got some real good paw prints. So that'll live forever. And we've tried to do that on almost every concrete pour and we never get the consistency right, but we did get it right today. So those paw prints are gonna look good for a long time. We got the Gavin Newsom trowel on here. So we had the bull float earlier. So now we got the Fresno float, right, Otis? Mm-hmm. So he's doing this trowel, Fresno trowel. And this will be the final manual step before he goes over there and puts the power trowel on. All right, we're gonna watch Otis do the Gavin Newsom dance here with the Fresno trowel.
First pass of the trowel. First pass of the power trowel. Otis said, as hot as it is today, he'll do this, and probably within 5 minutes he'll have to do it again. Brings up all that moisture you can see from the concrete. Over here, hand troweling and power troweling. Smooth. The process and the finish. Round 2 with the power trowel. Hammer time. Took that hammer to test the concrete.
He said he's got to do this 1 or 2 more times, probably 2 more times, and then he'll lay down the broom finish, and then they'll knock off the form. So we're getting real close to having our apron or mini driveway done here. I told Paul, I said, lay me some straight lines, man. Lay me some straight lines. Well, that's final, huh, Paul? Because he was talking about doing maybe another run.
He said it was ready.
Well, when OG says it's ready, it's ready. Guys, this looks really good. The camera never picks up things the way it should, but looks really smooth. Got a really good finish on it with that brush. And I don't know if I mentioned cure times. If not, here we go. They said a good week before you put vehicles on there. And Otis was particularly concerned about this edge here where it's sticking up 4.5, 5 inches. He said, if you're gonna drive on there, put some sort of ramp there, because that edge of that concrete needs a good month to cure before it's as hard as it's gonna get. So the edge might crumble if you try to drive up on here in a week, but we're gonna give it plenty of time to cure. As far as covering it, the biggest concern he has is if we get a good rain tonight, water coming off the garage roof might kind of pit the concrete up there. So we're gonna keep an eye on the weather, and if we see any rain, we got plenty of plastic. We'll put some plastic over there. So here's a view from inside the garage looking out. That 30 feet, we're glad we went that extra 6 feet. That looks like plenty of room to have 2 vehicles side by side if you want to wash them. Or let's say our vehicles are in the garage, you have a couple guests come, then they can park up on the concrete. And concrete's just such a game changer to anything. It just makes things look obviously more permanent, because concrete's permanent, but it just makes it look more finished, more professional. I just told Otis, don't get too attached to the L3901. He's got the L3902. You got that fan on? Otis, he's like, it's blowing my hair. He seriously was talking about getting a canopy for his L3902, and he's just blown away by the fan. See what I did there? Blown away by the fan. I know you love this tractor. Feels a little familiar to you. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll trade you this tractor for your Dodge truck. All right, guys, we are at the very last step here. Paul has finished the broom finish, and he's taken off the form boards. The rest of it is just time to cure and just watch it lighten up. I think it's time for Gabe and Corbin to get you a new shirt.
I got new ones at the house.
They've seen a few yards of concrete, haven't they?
Oh, yeah.
Starting to turn white here from curing. All right, guys, the final step is getting these form boards off. Paul's got most of them knocked off and the nails backed out of them. Load them up here on the summit, get them back in the shed, and then we're just waiting for dry time or cure time. All right, Mud Dog, you want to close out the video? Do you remember what I say, or you don't even watch my videos, do you?
Remember to hit the like button. I have to watch some of
Right?
them. Yeah.
Hit the like button, subscribe if you have not.
If you have not, yeah.
If you have not already.
Yeah.
And life's short.
Life's short and
tractor hard.
Tractor hard and the days are hot.
All right, man. Hey, we appreciate all the work you noticed did for us out here. This thing looks fabulous. Can't wait to start using it and get this driveway finished.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching. Y'all take care out there.
Have a good one.